Hello and welcome. In today's topic, we are going to discuss the difference between TensorFlow and PyTorch, which are both open source machine learning libraries. The TensorFlow has been developed by Google and is widely used for deep learning tasks and has a large community and ecosystem of tools and libraries. PyTorch has been developed by Facebook, is also used for deep learning and emphasis extremely on flexibility and ease of use with a focus on allowing for rapid experimentation. The main difference between the two is that TensorFlow uses a static computation graph while the PyTorch uses a dynamic computation graph. This means in TensorFlow, the user must define the computation graph before running the model, while in PyTorch, the computation graph is built on the fly during the forward pass. This can make the PyTorch more intuitive and easier to work with some of the tasks. If you look at the graph mentioned on the slide, you notice that the first development was done for the TensorFlow back in the 2015, and it has seen a steady rise, and ever since it has been growing. But in the 2021, you can see a decline. And at the same time, if you look at PyTorch and Keras, for this example I have taken, and also this graph talks about the percentage of the Stack Overflow questions that are being asked. This signifies or directly correlates that the amount of people which are using these libraries. If you notice the same, the PyTorch has been significantly increasing over a period of time. So my question now is the rise gonna surpass the TensorFlow, or is it going to be the same, or will TensorFlow launch new modules and libraries that can balance the ease and flexibility aspect? Let's also try to understand the difference between two. In this slide, let's try to draw a comparison between TensorFlow and PyTorch on the following parameters. First, model support. The TensorFlow, though might have a huge community and huge libraries, however, coming to the model support, the PyTorch wins in this regard. Reason being, the PyTorch has 85% of the models supporting it exclusively on Hugging Face, while only 8% of the models are being supported by TensorFlow, and the remainder can be used in both the frameworks. Moving on to the growth rate, based on the graph from the first slide, we can see that the PyTorch has been doing significantly better of late, and the growth rate is on a steady rise. Moving on to the deployment infrastructure, the TensorFlow made by Google does a very good job as it makes the process of deployment across all the platforms very easy and intuitive. While on the PyTorch, it might be a bit tricky. Moving on to the ease of coding, TensorFlow supports a wide variety of languages, including C, C++, C Sharp, Java, etc., and it is also adding new libraries, which makes it pretty difficult to code. However, on the PyTorch, it is relatively easy as it's centered around Python, which is the most used programming language, and it's also believed that Python is the OG for machine learning. So the final big question is which to choose, TensorFlow or PyTorch for your upcoming project. It is based upon three parameters, according to me, which is your love for Python code, it is the availability of the pre-trained models, and it is based on the size of community and support in which you want to draw. And one more aspect is that for which purpose are you using? You use PyChart is being generally used for academic or research purposes, while on the TensorFlow, it is used for deployment purposes. This is pretty much from my side. Thank you for watching. And